Pretty good one today. Yesterday was really physical, and we had to push through. Yesterday being practice 8, coming off of a scrimmage on Saturday. Pretty good, really good practice on Monday. Yesterday there was some teeth pulling going on to get them going. We called them up about halfway through practice and told them that if they give us everything they got the rest of practice, then we'll take some of the gear off of them today, and they did that. They responded, and they were rewarded with, we were in shorts and shoulder pads today. Very limited contact today, but we got a lot of good work in. Walk-on linebacker Russell Hines, non-contact, tweaked his knee. He'll be evaluated, and then Elijah Rodriguez. As you know from yesterday, high ankle sprain, and he's seeing a foot specialist today to kind of determine the best plan for treatment on that. Questions?
What about Kyle Porter?
Kyle Porter was he was non-contact today, full pads, just a shoulder kind of wobble a little bit that we think just with some treatment, exercise, staying out of contact for a couple days, kind of get that back to normal.
Is there a minimum time Elijah will be out?
Not yet. I'll know a lot more probably when he sees the actual foot, specialist.
Malcolm Roach.
Malcolm's a toe sprain, turf toe, whatever you want to call it. It's a first degree, so no loss in stability, no tear or anything as of yet. Just kind of a pain tolerance thing right now because he did stretch those ligaments in that big toe pretty good. So he'll be in a boot for a couple days. Hoping, what's today, Wednesday, I would think at the latest Monday.
What's your schedule for the rest of camp? Is it going to be 6 days?
Groundhog Day.
6 days a week, just going?
Yeah, we'll go 6 days a week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday will be our heavy contact days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be our limited to no contact days, and then Sunday will be our day off, and we'll wash, rinse, and repeat.
Do you try and break it up with the players and surprise them with a pool day or
no.
a bowling day, nothing like that? Just straight grinded?
Yeah.
You don't like
bowling?
Huh? You don't like bowling?
No, bowling. I would think there'll probably be something, whether it be a night off, like, hey, go home, we're not going to meet tonight, or maybe take them somewhere in the afternoon, but we're not going to ever miss a practice during training camp. So we'll have practices, if anything. If they perform to our expectations, then and merit maybe an afternoon off or an afternoon somewhere fun, we'll think about that, but we'll never sacrifice a day of preparation.
Tom, what appealed to you about Joshua Rowland, and what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, the guy, I like him or I shouldn't say like him. I like him more than other kickers I've been around because he's halfway normal, and I think he's got a bit of a toughness to him, and we ended today's practice with a 2-minute drill, needing a field goal to win. Then we simulated bobbling a snap with still a timeout left, so the punter or the holder fell on the ball, called timeout, so now we got to back it up, try it again. Then we iced him, and then we brought the whole team out and kind of formed a tunnel of noise and this, that, and the other, and he nailed the thing right through the upright. So,
how long was that?
Low 40s, I think, something like that. So keep making kicks under those kind of circumstances. You're gonna stay in fairly good graces.
Speaking of special teams, as long as we're talking about that, what goes through your mind if I told you this team had 5 kicks blocked last year, 3 against Oklahoma State?
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best. Yeah, that's a difficult team to be on, because when you get real dudes in the middle there, that becomes a war inside for about a second and a half, and I think we've helped ourselves by bringing in the fifth-year transfer short snapper that's got a little bit more girth on him to protect the A gaps.
Right.
But that's
from Oklahoma State. Speaking of,
correct. Yeah.
But is that just like unfathomable to you?
Yeah, I mean,
to get PATs blocked.
A lot of disasters are unfathomable to me until they happen, and then they become fathomable. But yeah, it's one blocked kick on the year, whether it be a PAT, field goal, or punt, is too many, and the stats back that up. And you block a punt, your chances of winning that football game increase substantially just from that one statistic.
Drayton said that you guys only have starters on special teams. Can you explain that philosophy?
Yeah, only. I saw that. I don't. It's not necessarily true. I know skill position guys on offense will not be allowed to touch the football unless they're starting on one special team. I believe our starting punt team is made up of all starters as of now, and then most of the rest of the special teams will be starters or key backups. I mean, that's a third of the game, and if we have always had the philosophy, even going back to my days at Sam Houston State when I was the special teams coordinator, that if you're an offensive or defensive player and you need a breather, you need a play off, it's going to happen on offense and defense. It's not going to happen on special teams, because I think special teams miscues are much more disastrous than an offensive or defensive miscue. And so we're going to put our most trustworthy guys on those teams.
Did you have many kicks blocked at Houston for 2 years?
I think we had a punt tipped, but still crossed the line of scrimmage against Temple in the championship game. I know field goals, our first year, we only attempted 9 we changed kickers, I think, week 3, and we don't attempt very many field goals, but he attempted 9 and was 9 for 9, so I know once we made that change, certainly none that year, and then I don't think we had any last year.
Block a bunch?
No, big one against Louisville our first year in the second game. They lined up for a game-tying field goal, and we got our hands on it. The way that punt schemes are nowadays, it's really, really hard to block a punt. But field goals, I think we put our I think we got our hand on the one at Memphis, or we got our hands on 1 or 2 or 3 in 2 years, something like that.
Do you have any kick blockers here?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I got to pay closer attention to that.
Tom, do you have? Drayton said yesterday no bell cows emerged at running back.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like that position is, and when would you like to see someone emerging during this camp?
I don't know that they will in this group, and that's okay. You'd like it to be, but production comes in all shapes and sizes and all different kinds of forms and rotations, and so would you like a guy to really, really separate himself? Yeah, but if they don't, but they're all playing at an above average to winnable level, then I think that's a good thing. So yeah, I don't have a timetable on that. And again, like I said, I view running backs very, very similarly to defensive line. I mean, we're going to have 2 or 3 that are probably going to play quite a bit throughout the course of the game.
Going back to special teams, how do you pick guys for that? You said you want guys that you trust. Do you hold a tryout to see, or a sign up who wants to be on these?
No, there's no want to in our program. They're early in training camp. We'll be 3 or 4 deep, and we gonna have meetings as a staff prior to training camp, like, hey, this is what this position needs from a body type standpoint: speed, size, strength, length, all of that stuff. And then, okay, this guy would be good, this guy, and then first week or so of practice, you try those guys out in drills and see how they do, and then as you get closer to game time, then you whittle that number down so that eventually by game week, just the ones and twos are getting reps.
Coach, I know you're not allowed to comment on specific recruits or anything like that, but you have, I think, 17 kids already kind of committed for 2018.
Kind of committed. You know something I don't know?
No. I didn't know kids, right? So 17. What are you selling, to these guys, and why are you guys having such an immediate impact?
I think you sell the people. You sell our staff. You sell our strength coach. You sell our academic staff. You sell our nutritionist and our assistant coaches. And it's the truth is easy to sell, and your current players do as good a job recruiting and truth telling as anybody. And when your current players tell these recruits, man, this guy, my position coach, he is phenomenal. He loves me. He cares about me. He takes care of me. This strength coach, man, in 7 months, I put 70 pounds on my squat max. This guy is really, really training us, to maximize our genetic potential. I think, that goes a long, long way. And so you sell the people, and you sell, obviously, the academics here are, about as good as it gets for a public institution. You sell the city of Austin. You sell the tradition, although, tradition for these guys, is Vince Young. It's not Earl Campbell and, Tommy Nobis. It's there's it doesn't go back very far. So I think tradition can only get you so far. You've got to sell the people, the academics, the city, and then you sell the track record too. And you sell the testimony of what we've done as a staff in the last place that we were at.
What do you think your cell is doing so much better than the majority of cells that are out there right now?
I don't know. If I knew that, I'd bottle it up and and sell it and work a lot less hours. But I really do think, if there's one thing I've done right as a head football coach, it's hire great people, and not just hired guns that are great recruiters, and not just an X and O lab guy that doesn't care about people. We've hired the best of both worlds at every position, and everywhere from Kevin Washington, our player development guy, to Fernando Lovo and Tori Takel and our operations staff, to obviously Yancey McKnight and his crew, Brett Wohlers and the academic staff. We've been able to get that part right, and it's very evident that everybody's going to say recruiting's about relationships, and it is. But the relationships have to be real, they've got to be genuine, and they've got to be substantive in order for that sell to take hook.
Last thing on that is there a Twitter mandate that every time a guy verbally commits, you guys must flood Twitter?
I don't think it's a mandate anymore. I think the guys just have fun with it. Yeah.
Are you wanting to be full before Maryland?
No, we won't be.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some guys that we're going to wait on. Some guys certainly that are worth waiting on.
Right.
And and we'll take that on a case by case basis. If you've got a plan A and plan B wants to say yes, and you don't feel you're not really confident in your chances with plan A, then there's a cost benefit kind of ratio to examine at that point. But there's still a few plan A's out there that we're willing to wait,
right.
for a while.
Maybe a better question is, do you want to be done at Christmas?
I think that's realistic. Yeah, there might be one or two guys that want to do the hat dance in February, or the Under Armour All-American or the Army All-American game thing, but other than 2, 3. Yeah, I think this, especially with the new signing day, I think we're going to learn a lot from
Whether
guy,
they do it or
yeah,
not.
yeah, whether they sign or not.
Got
How
time for
far
two
do you
more?
Go, how far do you go back with Beck and want to see the right guy to develop?
Not a ton far back. When he was at Nebraska, we used to cross paths recruiting a little bit, and we would sit down and talk ball over dinner or whatever when we're out on the road spring recruiting, and we'd share offensive ideas. And I certainly liked watching his offenses when he was at Nebraska, and then he was one of the guys I considered at Houston before Coach Meyer hired him at Ohio State. And just again, like I said, whether December or January or something, when I call JT Barrett and Cardell Jones and they say this guy's the real deal, that carries a lot of weight with me. And Coach Meyer had great things to say about him as well. And so, very uniquely, much like Major was, we need a guy that can bring some ideas to the table, but a guy that can manage the room, a guy that's got experience, a guy that can coach the quarterbacks, and a guy that can recruit. And because of mine and our experience on that side of the ball, I think that part of it is more important than, it's not, hey, we're going to come in and we're going to run Tim Beck's offense. It's, hey, we're going to run our offense, and with some ideas and some creativity from Tim and the rest of the offensive staff. But phenomenal guy. The kids love him. He's a great teacher, and we work really well together.
Tom,
Last one?
How's the Tope Amade move to D-line?
You know what? Really good. He got a lot of reps on Saturday. That is a big, good-looking dude that's got some intelligence about him, got some twitch to him, and I even wrote down on my notes today, just watching him run around. I think I wrote down something like, we got to find a way to make Tope a player. And so we're going to talk about that in our staff meeting. Now, whether that happens this year, he's a redshirt freshman, so we've got that played offensive line for an entire year and some change. But happy with that move at this point. And now he's got to do the things that we're tasking him to do in order to develop as a defensive lineman. But I think the potential's there.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.